My name is Zara. I am 24 years old. This happened when I was still in college. It was a normal day. The sun was soft. The air felt calm. I was sitting in the library, reading a book, drinking tea. Then I saw him. He walked in slowly, confident, tall. His eyes were kind. He asked if he could sit near me. I nodded. We didn't speak much, but something about him felt different. Safe. Warm. I looked at his hands. He wore a watch. He looked older than me, more sure of himself. We started meeting often. In the library. In the small cafe near the college. Sometimes just in the hallway. He always smiled. He looked at me like I mattered. And for the first time, I felt seen. My heart felt light. My cheeks got warm when he spoke to me. I started looking for him in every room. Every message from him made me smile. Every call made me feel special. I didn't know much about love, but I thought maybe this was it. He made me feel like I was important, like I was the only one. And that small feeling became something big inside me, something called hope. After that day in the library, we started talking more. He messaged me every evening. Sometimes in the morning too. His words were sweet. Short. But they made me feel special. He said he liked my voice. He said I made him feel calm. I held the phone close to my chest after reading his texts. My heart would beat fast. My face felt warm. We started meeting after classes. We sat at the cafe, shared tea, laughed at small things. He always looked into my eyes. I looked away, then back again. When he walked beside me, I felt safe. His presence made the world feel slow. At night, I couldn't sleep sometimes. I would close my eyes and think of him. His voice. His words. His hands. I told myself, maybe this is love. He never rushed me. He spoke gently. Treated me like I was something soft. And in my heart, a new feeling began to grow. It felt like light inside me. Like spring after a long cold season. I was falling in love. Slowly. Silently. And I didn't even notice that I had already fallen. After a few weeks, he started calling me late at night. His voice was calm. Deep. It made me feel safe. We talked about everything. Music, dreams, loneliness. But he said one thing many times. Let's keep this just between us. Not yet for others to know. I asked him why. He said people talk too much. And he didn't want to ruin what we had. I believed him. Because I didn't want to lose him. So we kept it quiet. Our little secret. He never held my hand in public. He never looked at me when friends were around. But when we were alone, he was soft. He was sweet. I told myself it's okay. Maybe this is real love. Maybe love grows in quiet places. Sometimes I wanted more. More time. More truth. More of him. But I stayed quiet because I was scared to lose what little I had. I gave him my time, my trust, my heart. And I thought, one day he'll tell the world about me. One day I won't be a secret anymore. But for now, I was the hidden part of his life. And I told myself that was enough, even when it hurt. One night, he called me. He said he missed me. He wanted to see me. Just for a little while. I said yes. My heart said yes before my mind could speak. We met in a quiet place, far from others. He smiled when he saw me. I smiled too. But inside, I was nervous. We sat together, talked softly, laughed a little. Then he came closer. His hand touched mine. His eyes looked into mine. My heart started beating fast. My hands felt cold. But I didn't move. He kissed me. Slow. Gentle. I closed my eyes. I told myself this is love. This is what people do when they trust. That night, I gave him everything. I didn't say no. I didn't stop him. Not because I was ready, but because I loved him. Afterwards, he held me. But for a short time. Then he left. I sat there alone. My clothes still on the floor. My heart still open. But something inside me felt different. Not joy. Not sadness. Just empty. I walked home slowly. The night was quiet. But inside me, a storm had begun. I told myself it was okay. He loves me. He will stay. But I didn't know then that love should not leave you feeling lost, or used, or alone in the dark. 2 weeks passed. Then 3. I waited. But something didn't feel right. My body felt strange. My chest was heavy. I felt tired all the time. I looked at the calendar. And my heart started to beat fast. I had missed my period. It was late. Very late. I sat alone in the bathroom. My hands were cold. My eyes were wide. I tried to breathe slowly. But fear had already entered my chest. I went to the pharmacy alone. I bought a small test. I hid it in my bag. That night, I waited until everyone was asleep. Then I opened the box. I followed the steps. My hands were shaking. My eyes stayed on the result. 2 lines. Clear. Strong. I was pregnant. I sat on the floor. I did not cry. I did not move. I just sat. Frozen. Silent. Alone. My heart was loud. But my voice was quiet. I held my stomach with both hands. It felt like a dream. Or a mistake. I closed my eyes and whispered. What do I do now? The next day, I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I just kept touching my stomach. A life was growing inside me. And I didn't know what to do. I waited 2 days. Then I called him. My voice was shaking. He answered. He sounded normal. Like everything was fine. I asked to meet. He said yes. We met near the cafe. The same place where we used to smile. But that day, there was no smile. I looked at him. My eyes felt heavy. My heart was louder than my words. I told him. Very slowly. Very softly. He didn't speak. He looked away. Then he laughed once. A short, dry laugh. He said it can't be his. He said maybe I made a mistake. He said he wasn't ready for this. His words cut through me. Like cold wind on warm skin. I wanted to cry. But I held it in. I just stood there. Frozen. My hands touched my belly. My legs felt weak. He kept talking. But I stopped listening. I turned around and walked away. Each step felt heavy. Like I was carrying pain in both hands. He didn't follow me. He didn't call me back. And in that moment, I knew I was alone. Not just in the street, but in this whole story. He gave me life, then left me to carry it alone. After that day, he never called me again. Not one message. Not one word. I waited. Morning. Evening. Night. But my phone stayed silent. I stared at the screen many times. I hoped to see his name. But nothing came. I walked to the cafe once. Maybe he would be there. He wasn't. I sat on the same bench we used to share. But now, it felt cold. Empty. I wanted to scream. Why did he leave me? Why did he lie? But no one was there to hear. At home, I stayed in my room. I told my family I was sick. I didn't want them to know. Not yet. I cried into my pillow every night. But I made no sound. Just tears. Soft and slow. I looked at my belly in the mirror. It was still flat. But I knew something was growing. Something small. Something innocent. And I was all it had. I hugged myself. Because no one else did. I whispered to the child inside me. I'm here. I will stay. But inside, I was scared. Scared of the future. Scared of being alone. Because being pregnant without love felt like walking through a storm. With no one holding your hand. I stayed quiet for as long as I could. I wore loose clothes. I smiled when they asked if I was okay. But inside, I was breaking. Each day, my body felt different. Each night, my fear grew stronger. One morning, my mother saw me standing in the kitchen. She looked at my face. Then at my body. Her eyes stopped on my stomach. She didn't speak. But her face said everything. Later that evening, she came into my room. She sat beside me on the bed. Her hand touched mine. Softly. She asked, "Is there something you need to tell me?" My eyes filled with tears. I looked down. I couldn't speak. But my silence spoke for me. She closed her eyes. She held my hand tighter. I felt shame. So much shame. Like I had failed her. She didn't shout. She didn't cry. But I saw pain in her face. Deep pain. That night, I stayed in bed. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking, what will they say? What will people think? But the hardest question was this: how can I forgive myself? I hurt the people who loved me. And the person who left me was sleeping in peace, far away, while I lay here, alone, afraid, and pregnant. Days passed. Then weeks. I didn't talk much. I didn't go outside. I just sat in my room, thinking, crying, hiding. One morning, I woke up feeling weak. My hands were cold. My body felt heavy, like I was carrying the whole world. My mother told me we should go to the clinic, just to check, to make sure everything was okay. I didn't want to go, but I nodded, and we went. The clinic was quiet. I sat on a plastic chair. The walls were white. The clock ticked slowly. I looked at other women. Some looked happy. Some looked scared. I felt alone, even in a full room. When my name was called, my legs felt weak. I stood up slowly. Inside the room, the doctor spoke kindly. But I don't remember the words. All I remember is this. She showed me a small shape on the screen. A tiny heartbeat. And in that moment, I started to cry. Not because I was sad, but because something inside me moved. Something deep. That small heartbeat was inside me. Alive. Real. I walked out of the clinic, my eyes still full of tears. But my heart was different. Still scared. Still broken. But not empty. Because I knew now. This was not just a problem. This was a life. And I had a choice. I could run. Or I could stay. I chose to stay. Not because it was easy, but because I knew. This child needed someone. And that someone was me. After the clinic, I went home quietly. I sat in my room. I placed both hands on my stomach. I didn't cry this time. I just breathed. Slowly. I knew the road ahead would be hard. Very hard. But I also knew I could not run anymore. I started looking for work. Small jobs. Any job. I cleaned houses. I helped at a small shop. I saved every coin. My mother stayed with me. She didn't say much. But her eyes were softer now. She helped me eat. She reminded me to rest. I wrote letters to the baby. Every night. Even before they were born. I wrote things like, I don't know how to be a mother. But I promise to love you. I promise to protect you. Some nights, I still felt pain. Pain from what he did. Pain from being forgotten. But when I felt my baby move inside me, something changed. That tiny kick reminded me why I chose to stay. I was no longer living for him. I was living for someone new. Someone who never left me. And even though he didn't accept the child, I did. With all my heart. Because this baby was not a mistake. This baby was my reason to begin again. So now, When I wake up each morning, I whisper, "We are okay. We are enough." And when I feel tired, I remind myself, I was broken, but I chose to build something strong. Not for love, not for him, but for my child, and for me. Thank you for listening to my story. It was not easy to share, but it came from my heart. If you have ever felt lost, if you have ever cried in silence, please know this. You are not alone. Some people break us. Some promises hurt us. But we can still choose peace. One step, one breath, one day at a time. I am not perfect, but I am trying. And that is enough. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and share. It helps me feel heard. And maybe it helps someone else too. More stories are coming soon. Until then, take care of your heart. And never forget, you are stronger than you think.